Hey guys, what's going on? SpitBrix here with another LEGO Ninjago video. In this video, I'll be comparing and contrasting the LEGO Ninjago Movie ninjas to the new variants in the Sons of Garmadon wave of LEGO Ninjago for 2018. I'm going to be putting each of the ninja minifigures side by side so you guys can see the similarities and differences. And I think it's pretty interesting to see what's the same and what has changed for these ninja. Now, before I get too far into this video, I want to let everybody know that I've actually updated my Snupps profile with my new Sons of Garmadon minifigures and sets. Now, for those of you who are unaware of the Snupps app, it's actually a free application for both iOS and Android devices. Snupps is great for LEGO collectors and fans to share their LEGO collections and view others as well. I personally like to post my favorite LEGO sets and minifigures, as well as post in my LEGO group, which is open for anyone who loves LEGO to join. If you haven't already, give Snupps a try and be sure to follow me at SpitBrix and join my LEGO group as well. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into each of these ninja. Let's go ahead and start off with my personal favorite ninja. This is Jay. Over on the left for this video, you'll see the LEGO Ninjago Movie minifigure, and over on the right, you guys will see the Sons of Garmadon minifigure. Now, I'm not going to be taking into account the Spinjitzu Master minifigures. I'm mostly just going to focus on the main minifigure prints that we have for Sons of Garmadon. Now, here we go. Let's start off here with Jay. As you guys can see, the top half with the ninja masks has changed. The colors have kind of flipped, so instead of a black wrap, instead it's the black sort of band that goes across it. You can actually see that Jay's logo actually is white now instead of sort of a light blue. I like the majority of it being blue instead of black. I think it just pops more, and I think with the ninja each being their own separate color, I think the color should be represented throughout most of their ninja uniform. Now, of course, the heads are basically the same on all of these ninja for Sons of Garmadon with a few exceptions. Going over to the torso, obviously Jay in the movie actually had a little bit of aspects of orange, which I thought was really interesting. It was always kind of Cole that seemed to get the orange. As you guys probably know from the Spinjitzu Master set, Airjitzu Flyers, Cole always had an orange, but here in the movie, actually Jay had some orange printing on there. And as far as just the torso prints, you guys can see that the movie is a darker blue shade, and of course the lighter blue comes with the Sons of Garmadon. Now, both of the torsos actually incorporate the sort of Ninjago language over on the strap that goes across his chest, which I like to see. And also, a really cool little feature that you may have missed is over on the Sons of Garmadon minifigure torso there, you can actually see that there's super little details of Jay's logo there, the one line on top and the shorter line on the bottom. It actually accents all the way down to his legs as well, you can see that. I thought that was a really cool little addition by LEGO. Definitely tells that they're putting a lot of effort into designing some really top-notch, high-quality printing on these minifigures, which I really like. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about Lloyd, the green ninja. Now, Lloyd has definitely went through a transformation, going from mostly a black uniform to a very nice solid green. When we first got images of the Ninjago movie Lloyd, I personally really liked the more of a black feel. It went really well with Lloyd's colors and of course the gold hints. But now I actually really like this Sons of Garmadon minifigure, to be honest. I just like the entire suit being green. I think that's a really cool touch. Has the Ninjago language on there. Not much really has changed if you really look at it. It's definitely not as big of a change as of Jay, that sort of thing. But as for the printing, I think it came out really cool. Of course, those little dots on there adding to some really awesome details. And as far as the back printing on these minifigures, I'm not going to be focusing too much on them because there wasn't really much of a change for them, or at least that's kind of what I've seen. And I don't really think it's that important because it's not really what you see exactly whenever you look at the minifigure straight on. But I do want to point out a few, and you'll see Lloyd here and a couple other ninja as we go about this video. Here you can see the backs on these minifigures have changed a little bit. You can see the Sons of Garmadon actually has a gold symbol on the back instead of a green. I have mixed opinions. I'm not exactly sure about that gray band that goes across. I don't really like that, but that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on to the next ninja. Moving on, the next ninja is Zane. We're going to be talking about Zane. Zane has a lot of differences, I have to admit. Now, of course, he also has Snake Jaguar, you have to remember that. And so, some of this really hasn't changed that much. He still has his sort of disguise. That's what Snake Jaguar is him in disguise, so they don't really know he's a robot, that sort of thing. As of the time of this video, we haven't actually got the official episodes yet, but, you know, that's kind of what I'm inferring from this. Now, before we move on to more of the robotic titanium ninja minifigure of Zane, let's go ahead and take a look at this Snake Jaguar. I love the accents of pink and light blue. That's a really interesting touch. I don't think we've ever gotten pink on a Ninjago minifigure really at all. So that's really cool to see that really implemented, and he has actually a black ninja mask, which is really interesting. Zane usually never wears that much black, and of course he has his hairpiece that we got for the Ninjago movie. But here is probably the most interesting comparison, in my opinion, for this entire video. Of course, for the Ninjago movie, Zane never really showed his underside, all his metal workings and titanium underneath his painted over, skin. So over on the right here, now for the Sons of Garmadon, not only do we have little accents of light blue, which I personally really like, there is also, of course, his titanium head, or his robotic head more so. That's a big aspect of the TV show, so I'm glad they're not changing that completely. Now, as for the printing on the torso, I really like it. There's a bunch of little triangle details. Now, of course, at the beginning of this video, you guys saw that the J minifigure for Sons of Garmadon actually had his little logo printed a whole bunch of times on the torso and legs. Now, what's interesting is that neither Lloyd nor Zane have their little logo on it. This one's just triangles, which I thought was pretty interesting that Jay was special enough to get his actual logo printed all around it. There's a bit of ninja writing there for Ninjago, but other than that, pretty much the same. You guys can see more of a black headband on this, of course, but I personally really like the light blue. Be sure to let me know down below if you guys like the accents of light blue on Zane. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Earth Ninja here, or Cole. The most prominent difference between these two minifigures is the addition of orange for Sons of Garmadon and the subtraction of gold. I would have liked to see the gold that was on the Ninjago movie minifigure kind of transfer over. However, it didn't, which is okay, I guess. We have the orange bringing back, like Cole always seems to do, have that bit of orange accents like I've already talked about. Up on the very top, Cole's headgear, I guess, has really changed basically not at all. It's pretty much stayed the same. He's kept the overall black feel on it. Just changed, of course, the logo to orange. The torso, you can see the little details of little squares or little oval squares sort of thing with rounded edges, which is pretty interesting. I honestly do not really care for this Cole minifigure for Sons of Garmadon. I think the Ninjago movie one looks a lot better. That's my opinion though. Your guys' may be different, but that's just what I really think about this minifigure. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of these Cole minifigures, because there is actually a pretty big difference here. Over on the Sons of Garmadon minifigure over on the right, you can see the little hint of orange, but also there's a band coming across on the back that covers up part of the logo. Kind of limits the printing on there. I'm not a huge fan of it, but maybe you are. Now let's go ahead and talk about the girl ninja. This is Nia. I really liked her role in the movie. I thought it was good for her to play a major role, obviously being the only girl ninja. I think that was definitely appropriate. Now, as for her, she hasn't changed really hardly at all. Of course, her colors being sort of a black and gunmetal gray and little aspects of light blue, you can't really change much with it because all the colors look so similar, and they weren't going to make an entire light blue ninja, although that might have looked kind of cool. They wanted to keep this sort of a darker feel to this ninja. Now, this one also has some aspects of the light blue, kind of like the new Zane minifigure for Sons of Garmadon. So I don't know exactly why they would use light blue on both of them. I like the accents, but I don't really know if it makes sense to use light blue on two of the ninjas. Now, as far as the printing, I think it came up pretty cool. They obviously switched the two main colors over on the top for the headgear, making it more of a gray instead of a black, and then of course switching the band color as well. Lego has continued the little cloth piece that goes around her waist, which I think is pretty interesting just to add on there. I'm not a huge fan of those cloth pieces, to be honest, in Lego. Kind of limits the posability of the minifigure, but always cool to get something extra for these minifigures. And of course the torso has changed a little bit. There's two bands going across it, which I personally really like how that turned out. Now, last but certainly not least, we're going to be talking about the Fire Ninja here. This is Kai, and Kai definitely has had a big change. Starting at the top of this minifigure, they switched the colors for the headdress, which I really like. I really like the main red color. That looks really cool. Really like that revision. As we go down to the torso, there's also some cool revisions. To be honest, the Kai minifigure for the Ninjago movie was probably my least favorite ninja out of the bunch. That's just my opinion though, but I think this Sons of Garmadon Kai minifigure looks a lot better. I personally love how it turned out, and the little aspects on the torso there of like a light yellow-orange color, I think is a pretty cool aspect because, of course, fire isn't always just red, and mostly it's usually like an orange, yellow, that sort of color. So I think it's very appropriate to add in those colors for LEGO, and of course those little details there over on, of course, the torso and of course the legs, that little sort of diamond piece came out really cool as well. Basically, the faces are all the same for all these ninjas, excluding Zane, which has changed to a more robotic face. And that was my full analysis between the ninjas from the Ninjago movie and the ninjas from the Ninjago Sons of Garmadon wave. Be sure to let me know down below what you guys think, and if you guys prefer the Sons of Garmadon ninja minifigures, or if you guys prefer the Ninjago movie minifigures. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. To be honest, I'm really torn. I really like some of the Ninjago movie, but I also really like the SoG minifigures as well. But I want to hear your guys' responses down below. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other LEGO content. And always give this video a thumbs up if you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video coming very soon.